All right. I think that we are live. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Dawn Loading, and I have my friend Amber Woodard here as my very first guest for my new series this year called Financial Freedom. So, let me tell you a little bit about this series. So, I just co authored a book called Step Into Your Brave, and it has my story in it. And my story is really about how I have made a change from living in scarcity, living in survival mode, a lot due to just my childhood, my how just there's a whole lot to it, y'all, but it comes down to a lot of mindset. And I've been determined to change that in my life. However, one of the final things in my journey is really taking care of my money, setting things up so that my money works for me, so that I can leave a legacy for my kids. I really, if I were to die today, I'm not set up. I don't have my will done. I don't have my trust done. They'd be scrounging for all of my information. So I've made it my goal this year to really take control of my money, my finances. And if you know me, this is not something that's fun for me. Right? Amber knows me. Like, I'm a real estate agent and I've been a successful real estate agent for over 20 years, first of all. But then I started bringing in other real estate agents to my company. And I'm learning that there's a lot of us who really need some help in this area. So I'm bringing in specialists, starting with Amber, and I'm going to introduce her here in a second. Next week, I have an attorney coming in to talk about uh, your estate planning. We're going to talk about wills. We're going to talk about creating a trust, all of this stuff. And then I'm going to have just special guests throughout the year, all about helping you on this journey. Amber just said to me, we need to have someone come in and help and do a vision board. And I have a huge vision board. It's up on my wall and I've already done everything that's on it. I need to redo it. But this stuff works, all of this stuff, and I want to bring it to you. I don't just want to learn how to do this myself. I want to bring it to my clients, my friends, my family, my agents, everybody. I'm about helping other people these days. And so, with all that being said, welcome to my journey in creating financial freedom in 2023. So, Amber, thank you so much. You and I have so much in common about helping and educating people to get to that next level where they want to go. So, I'm so grateful that you're my first guest. I'm so grateful to just even get to know you. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I'm going to put your little information up here real quick. So, this
All
is
right.
Amber and her husband. They are with the credit couple. And I will have this information up again here in a little bit. But go ahead, Amber. Tell us
All
about
right.
yourself.
Yes. Thank you, Lori. And or Dawn, like I said, this is, I don't know where my brain's going today. This is, um, this is why we became friends fast. I mean, we both have this need to help other people. And, you went through the journey and you saw a problem. You saw a problem that needed to be fixed because if you're experiencing it, someone else is experiencing it. In fact, almost everyone else is experiencing it. I'm a former teacher. I loved helping. I loved helping people. I loved helping high school kids. And when I saw an opportunity to help a problem that is not addressed in schools, which we went into credit, I just jumped on it. Well, you go into credit and you get everyone's dirty laundry. So you find out quickly that, you said that your issues with money, issues with wealth was caused by many, many factors. And I think in general, having knowledge about wealth and having knowledge about your finances is not intuitive and it is not taught. And if your parents don't know, they don't teach you. And sometimes your parents know, but they're too busy. So we end up with this group of adults who really had no chance. We had no chance. You don't know what you don't know. And that's kind of how we got into not only helping people with their credit, but we came into, wanting to help people learn how to budget, wanting them to know how to use their money, how to, do things that were going to move them forward instead of keeping them where they're at. You can stay at your same job with your same money. You can pay your same bills. You can keep your same habits. You can make no motions of moving forward. And next year you'll still be alive, but you'll still be sitting where you're at, wishing that you were going somewhere different. And
oh my gosh. And that's where I have lived until I turned 50. And really, I'm 53 now. And I think I was about 48, 49 when I joined EXP. And I started building multiple streams of income. But I was like, what do I do now? Like, I don't even know what to do with this. I'm so used to just paying the bills, saving a little bit, building up paying off the credit cards only to put them back where they were. Like, I didn't know. And I only started really becoming aware of this in the past few years. So,
and I feel like we get in this habit where we go to our job and we work and we make a paycheck and we use the money in that paycheck. So if you get a raise and you're making an extra $50 a week, you find $50 more in bills. And yep. We stay at the same level and we don't make future plans. We don't make plans to change anything. We don't make plans to put that money back. And it just keeps, and then we're busy. I mean, you're just living day to day. You're just making sure that the electric bill is paid on the 14th and the rent is paid on the 31st. You're not really, we're busy. We don't look forward. And then you get stuck and you realize 20 years went by. And it happens to all of us. It really does. And so that's really, kind of where I think we kind of
connected.
I was in that pattern as a teacher. We understood each other, and that need to help other people maybe not go through what we went through or to find the way out was really, really important to me. I love having credit clients. I love having a business, but my heart goes out to the people who are in my program. I wish they had never gotten to that point. Yeah. So I would love to be able to help people completely change their future forecast.
Love it. Okay. Well, I really don't want us to go on for an hour. We're going to keep this kind of short, but I have created a few slides to give people some information on where to start. Now, I am also going to try to put the slides on here with us at the same time, but it's not really working. It might be because I'm on a Mac. So I'm going to just put the slide up for a minute and then we'll go back to it. So first of all, this is, if you have an intention in 2023 to take control of your finances in any aspect, you may not need a credit repair. You may not need to create a budget, but you may need to figure out what that next step is to getting your will done, or to, move your credit up. You want to be at an 800 for whatever reason. Wherever you're at, I want to meet you there on your journey in 2023. I want to make sure that I am providing you with these guest experts who I promise that you could trust. So that has been a really big thing for me, is building a team. In real estate, it's all a transaction thing. It's all about how I always tell my clients, like, now you got to remember that I'm not the only one with my hand in the pot. Like, if we're all stirring a pot, it matters whose hands are in that pot. And so I have spent my whole career building amazing teams of title companies, of lenders, of people that I know I can trust to get us to the closing table. So I think it's very important to note that the people I'm bringing in as guest experts this year for this series are people that you can trust. I hate that you could just go onto YouTube or go on to wherever social media and hear from people and it's all doom and gloom, or it's a fairy tale. Like, it's all, you just don't know what to trust anymore. So I'm just saying that the people I have on this series, you can trust. I trust and you could trust too. So Amber is the first one. And like I said, we've already clicked, we've worked together. So we're going to talk now about goal setting. So we're going to give you some takeaways to go home and get some work done before I have her back next month. So I should probably mention that every single month we are going to do this every second Wednesday of the month, and we're going to bring in something different. So today we're going to talk about goals and where you're at and what you could go gather so that you could come back in February. We're going to be talking about creating your budget. So with those goals, I'm going to show this. And while Amber, I'm going to let you go ahead and take over some of the goals. This is just a few of them. You've got to create your own goals. But Amber, why don't you take us into this while I try to figure out how to get us all on screen?
Okay, that sounds great. So we were talking about where we wanted to start with this series, and I said, it's January, and one of the big things that my husband and I do, because we have a ton of goals. I'm highly competitive, and that probably feeds into that. But we sit down. We honestly sit down daily. We sit down weekly. We sit down monthly, quarterly, and then we do a big one at the beginning of the year. That is really just, let's reevaluate our yearly goals and let's see where we're at. Now, when I'm talking about these, not all of these are going to pertain to you. Maybe you don't have children and you don't need to plan for their future college, their future wedding. Maybe it's your wedding you're planning for. Maybe you don't want to own a home, or your home is paid off. But these are things to kind of get your mind going in the direction of, what kind of goals do I need to make? And I do want to mention again, with these goals, you need to have long-term and short-term goals. Maybe you want to buy your first house next year, but maybe you also want to start buying investment properties. So you need to think, like I said, we do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. I have plans going out 10 years. We have a 10-year retirement plan going right now, and it's very specific. So when you're looking at your goals financially, you want to look at a few different things. Number one is your investment. And this isn't always about retirement. This could be investments just to build money for those future things, like your kid's wedding, college, buying up these investment homes, having the passive income that you were talking about. Another thing that you want to look at are your retirement goals. Do you have a 401k? These investments, are you investing in the stock market or in Bitcoin or something like that is going to get you that money? Are you using life insurance policies correctly to where they will pay you out as you get older? Have you looked into the different ideas that are used within life insurance to help pay for, like I said, your kid's college, wedding, your retirement, anything like that, your small goals, vacation, and maybe you're planning to go, I don't know, maybe you want to go to San Antonio this summer with your family and you need to put back a few $1,000s. But maybe you're looking to spend a month in the Virgin Islands in 3 years and you need to start putting back a little bit more money toward that. So what are your different vacation goals? Do you need a new car? Do you need to make an emergency fund? Do you need to start setting that back? And is one of your goals to have that 6-month salary? What are your home ownership goals? Do you want to own a home? Is your goal to pay off your mortgage? Is your goal to own other properties? What are your home ownership goals? Your career goals? Are you happy where you're at? Are you, do you have a goal of moving up in your company? Do you have a goal of starting a side hustle or a goal of not working for someone else? What are your goals and what do those goals mean? And how are you going to get there? And then,
What?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say something here because you said the magic word, side hustle. So side hustle is huge, and there's something to be said about having multiple streams of income. I remember when I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad right before I got my real estate license, and I think that is a book everybody needs to read. Mm-hmm. And I get that there's a lot of fear for people who have a 9-to-5 job and that they can't step away from that. In fact, like for me and my husband, he has a 9 to 5 job and we get the best of both worlds because I'm able to do the entrepreneurial thing while we still have that steady income coming in from him and building that retirement. So that's ideal. But, I also want to have guests on here to give you guys ideas of different side hustles that you could do so that you could have the best of both worlds as well. You don't have to have just one job. You can do something on the side to bring in that extra money so that you can have these goals and do something. But you got to know what your goals are first before you do that. So I just wanted to say something about that side hustle. I have several side hustles, so
Well,
love
and
it.
I agree. And the side hustle, honestly, with me and Juwan, you've heard my story. Having a small side hustle helping people with credit has led to us now in the process of opening 4 businesses.
I
And I
love
mean,
it.
you never know where life is going to take you, but having that side hustle actually opened us up to a whole new world that
Yeah.
we never knew existed. So I always think a side hustle, and again, we're talking goals. You have to fund those
Yeah.
goals somehow. You do
Yeah.
have to fund your goals.
Yeah.
So side
It's like a
hustle is
roadmap. You can't get to New York from Texas. I mean, you could kind of go in the right direction, but you have to have a map. And in order to create the map, you got to know where you're going. So, and the beauty of that is that you get to decide where you want to go. This is your life. This is
and you
your
can change your
dream.
mind every day. You can change your mind.
Yeah.
That's why our
It,
goals are revisited all the time, because we change, we grow, we get new ideas. And I went from physics and chemistry teacher to owning a business. So you're always, the ability to change your mind is always there. And it's never, I wouldn't say it's never a bad thing, but it's never a bad thing to explore your opportunities. Though the next one, end of life. What are you leaving for your kids?
yeah.
Um, are you going to have your mortgage paid off? Are you going to leave them with bills? Are you going to leave them with credit card debt? Are you going to leave them in life insurance policy or investment properties? Or what are you doing to ensure that not only your kids, but your kids' kids get something from you? That you have
Yeah.
ensured their happiness, their safety after you are gone. So what are you doing for your end of life goals? And also, like I said before, you've got future expenses, no matter who you are. And I just put some examples here. It could be your college. Maybe you want to go back. It could be your kids' college, your wedding, your kids' wedding. Maybe you're going to have kids and you're going to have to take off work. We all know diapers are expensive. We all know kids are expensive. And I think the older they get, the more expensive they get. So, a big one coming up for us, our son is 6 and he'll be playing AAU basketball soon. We'll be doing a lot of travel, and we're thinking it's probably going to be 15,000 plus a year. You have to plan for that. You don't just throw in $1,000 plus bill a month. That's something that you have to plan for. So really just going in and on your goals, number one, be realistic, but challenge yourself. Get what you want. Don't sell yourself short, but break your goals down. Right now, if you are at a certain income and you don't have a ton of money left over, find out what your end goal is and then make small goals until you get there. And that's another, she just brought this up on the screen. Your goals need to be smart. And I know most people have heard SMART goals before. I've heard it used in many different settings, but I just wanted to run through really fast what the letters of SMART goals means. Number one, the S is specific. You can't say, I want to be happy when I'm old. You can't say, I want a job that makes money, because that's not a goal. I want to run a business. That is not very specific. Who, what, where, when, why. Maybe you don't know what you want to do in business, but I want a business that runs itself and that I can work from home and that allows me to travel. That's a lot more specific than I don't want to work for anyone anymore. So
Yeah.
be specific as possible. And
and
number
and
two,
be say what you want, don't say what you don't want when setting goals. It's the whole law of attraction thing. If you set a goal to not do something, guess what, you're not going to do it. So make sure when you're setting your goals that it is what you want to do, not what you don't want. Just like with debt, people say, well, I don't want to be in debt anymore. Well, you need to say, you need to be more specific, and it needs to be a positive outcome. So keep that in mind when you're creating your goals.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you always want to speak that positivity. And I think that's one thing that we really, that we'll be going through on the vision board is speaking the positivity into your life, making the goals, writing them down. I know I was telling you yesterday, we have some big goals, and I feel like if I didn't write them down on a piece of paper and discuss those with my husband, with my friends, with my mommy, then when I'm working hard and I'm exhausted and my kids are running around screaming and the dog's barking and the dishes are overflowing in the sink and I'm just overwhelmed, I would want to quit.
Yeah.
I would give up. You would get lost somewhere in the day to day and you don't remember your goals. But we always have something like the vision board that you can go and look at and go, you know what? This is why I didn't sleep last night. This is why I'm running on 4 hours, because I have goals. And I think that and the speaking the positivity is important.
Yeah. And the goals that we're talking about, like I teach in my Freedom to Flourish stuff, I teach the agents to create a business plan, and we put all of these goals in this business plan at the very top. And so it's really easy to get distracted, like you're talking about, to get sidetracked, to get discouraged. Discouragement is a huge one. And then we go into abstinence. Like, let's just make this all disappear. Like, I don't even need to do this. Let's just watch Netflix, which, I love Netflix. So I'm not going to say I don't love me a good Netflix day, but at the same time, I do work on all these goals. But you need to write them down somewhere. You need to have just a Google Doc is all you guys need to do. Start a new file in Google Drive and name it your future. Name it something that's going to inspire you, so that when you wake up in the morning, or you're tired, you're in one of those places that Amber's talking about, like you could just open that up on your phone and look at it and be like, oh wait, like I've got plans, like my life is going somewhere. I've got to get back to this place. I can't be sick and have a headache right now. Forget these allergies. I've got things to do. Right, Amber? Like that's me this year so far. But anyway, yeah. So, and what were the rest of them? What did you talk about? Measurable, attainable.
Measurable. Yes. And measurable means, you can't say I want to be rich. you can't say, like I said, you can't say I want to make a lot of money. You need to say like, by the end of this year, I want my side hustle to produce $15,000 in profit. By next year, I want it to be 25. Whatever your goals for you are, but it needs to have a number and a date. Set a deadline for yourself. Joanne and I sat down. We have some things that we'd like to get paid off in the next few months. And I said, by tax day, by April 15th, these things will be paid off. Here's the total amount we owe. This is how we're going to do it. And by April 15th, those debts are gone. So it's very much having them be something that you can measure. Did I succeed? I'm halfway to April 15th. Am I halfway to my goal? So measurable is important. Achievable. Like I said, be realistic. You have to be able to win sometimes. I'm a big person that sets goals that are way above my head. My expectations of myself and the people around me are extremely high. I recognize that about myself, but you still have to make sure that your goals are achievable. I'm not going to go in and say, by December 31st this year, I'm going to run $17 million through my business. Not unless I made 16 million last year. That's not something I'm going to say. So make sure that it's something that is achievable, relevant. Make sure that it goes along with your entire all of your goals. Make sure it ties into who you are. Don't go out in left field. Juan and I started a credit business, and we're adding other financial services on. We're not going to go left, and I'm not going to be selling nails next week. I'm not going to sidetrack. I'm going to stick towards things that fulfill my ultimate goal of having a 4-layer business that runs itself in 10 years so that I am on the beach sipping mojitos. So I'm not going to go left and go run after another opportunity. My goals are going to be relevant. And time-based. I think that kind of goes along with measurable, but make sure that you do put those deadlines in. And I like to break mine down. If I want to pay off if I have $10,000 worth of debt and I'm giving myself 10 months to do it, I need to pay off $1,000 a month. So you need to be able to have some time limits in there.
Love it. Love, love, love it. Awesome. Okay, so let's wrap this up today, because today is all about letting everybody go and take the month and really kind of figure out where they are. So we do have some homework for you, depending on where you are in your journey. So, and that's what you've got to figure out. So here's the homework. So, Amber, tell them what to do to get this information.
Okay. Well, after you've taken a few days to kind of think about your goals, like she said, write it down somewhere or put it into a doc so that it is visible. And so you can go put a check mark by it when it's done. You're going to need to figure out where you are now, because the next parts of this podcast are really going to tell you how to get everything straight, and how do you know what you're going to get straight to plan for the future or to make changes now if you don't know where you're at. So what I would like for you guys to do before the next time we come back is take a good look at your income. How much money is coming into your household? Your job, your spouse's job, maybe you have a side hustle. We have some affiliate businesses that we have just random amounts of income. What is all of your income? What are your expenses? And I really want to know, what are your bills? Break them down. What are your bills? And then what about spending? And I could say right now, and I talked to Dawn about this yesterday. I said, if you looked at my bank account, you would see fast food, fast food, fast food, fast food. And you would realize that all of my money is going to fast food, because we are extremely busy right now and we're very seldom home, and it is horrible. Not only bad for our health and going to cut down on my lifespan, but it's also extremely expensive. So that tells me one place where I am failing. I have got to get better with the crock pot, the Instapot, the sandwich, something.
Air fryer.
There
Air
you go.
fryer.
So that I can do better with
life.
my budget. It's insane. But you really need to know where your money is going. Sometimes we go through, the Schlotsky's drive-through, and we throw down $40 for a family, and you don't think about the fact that could have bought food for your family for 3 days. So you break down your expenses. Break it down. How much am I spending on clothes? How much am I spending on fast food? How much am I spending on groceries? How much am I spending on going out? Just break it down into your categories. If we need to recategorize later, you can look at it a little bit different then, but break it down into your categories. Like you said, it's where you're at. What are you spending?
So I have a question for you right while we're right here. So what are your thoughts on QuickBooks? Because for the last 6 years, probably, I've had a CPA do my taxes, and I just send my bank statements at the end of the year, and I pay them a fortune to go through and categorize all that, because I don't have time to do that. So I thought this year that's going to change. So one of my homework assignments through this is to download QuickBooks, connect it to my bank accounts so that I can create those reports. Even I know that you could break it down on QuickBooks, and it's like $10 a month, I think. And there's other apps that can do it as well. If you don't have businesses, you probably don't need something as extravagant as QuickBooks. But I have like 4 businesses, so I need QuickBooks. So, but what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any other ideas or apps, things that could help people to use to get this information somewhere they could refer to it?
I do. I'm going to be starting to use QuickBooks in our business just because we've diversified. We're going to start using it probably by the end of this month. Should have been sooner, but my appointment late. So I had been using Keeper Tax for my business. I liked it because it texts me every night and it says, okay, here's the money you spent. How do you want to categorize it? That may be something good. And I think I pay $15 a month for that. For someone who just wants to kind of keep a running total of where their money's going. So at the end of the night, it's going to say, oh, you went to Kroger. Is this groceries? Oh, you went to Walmart. Was this gas? Was this groceries? Was this household? You know, so you can kind of break it up there. There is another one that I've been looking into, and I wish I'll come up with the name before next time. But
what was
it's
that one? I'm going to type it in the comments, although I don't know if, go ahead.
Yeah. And the other one, I don't know much about it yet. I'm still looking into it for some of my clients, but it looks like a really good one for someone who doesn't have a business and just wants to record what they're spending and kind of pull out through different reports what their frivolous spending may be.
You know what we'll do, Amber? Let's you and I get together, and while I'm turning this whole thing into a YouTube video, I will, by the time I get that done, we will have links to these preferred apps that we like and that we're using, and we'll put that in the text area on the YouTube video. So that'll be following this. So.
Oh yeah, and I like having. I am an old school. I have my notebooks, and in fact, I feel really like I've stepped it up a level. Instead of having 9 notebooks, I have like one of those giant spirals with all the little things in it, so I can talk about whatever I want to with myself. And I'll draw, and I'll be like, "Hey, will you look up the will you look
okay.
up the section and do it that way?" So
I need to introduce you then, Amber. This is a side note, but the Remarkable tablet, the Remarkable 2 tablet, if you're a note taker, you must have one of these. So we'll talk about that when we get off of this.
That looks like something perfect for me because I'm
you will
writing.
It'll change your life. You write, it's beautiful. So, but that's in another video. So, all right. So let's go back to homework. So we're now at breaking down the spending. So investments. Where do you have your investments? You know, I got an email not too long ago. This app called Stash, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, gave me like a free $5 to invest. And I did it, and I haven't paid any attention to it. And I got on there the other day because they sent me an email, and I'm like, I get these emails. What is this for? And I have $160 something in there. My husband does another app that does that. So I'm going to put links to all of this stuff in the video. So he does it. It's some kind of a round up. Like when he spends money, it rounds up and takes that and puts it into an investment account. It's connected to their bank.
This one, I did never put money in.
That's awesome.
So look at your stuff. Where do you have some money invested? Did you buy some Bitcoin at some point? What life insurance policies do you have? What do you have where your money's invested? You know, insurance, these life insurance policy, there's all kinds that, you know, people are doing so many things with life insurance, and I'm not the expert here at all, but I definitely know that there are many options for you to not only set up emergency funds to send your kids to college, funds for you to retire on. Life insurance isn't all about when you pass away. So there are so many things that you can do with life insurance. Retirement, 401ks. Do you have past 401ks? Do you have teacher retirement? What do you have going on as far as retirement? This one's good for next week. Will and trust. Have you set that up? So many people don't do it. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the stories about famous people who pass away unexpectedly and they had no will and trust. And imagine they have a lot of money that needs to go to certain places. But your money is important too. And so are your kids, and so are your belongings. And you need to have that set up. Your debt. How much do you owe on your house? What's your interest rate? Is it good for you? Is it time for a refinance? Is refinance something that would help you in the future? Maybe a cash out refinance. So you need to know what's going on with your home. Your car. What do you owe on it? What's your interest rate? Is there a way that you could change some things and get a better interest rate? Especially, you know, over the next year, I think interest rates are going to fall. They're already, as far as cars, I've noticed my clients, some of them getting a little bit better when their credit is excellent. So interest rates are kind of volatile right now, but they are seeming to go slowly in the right direction. What about your credit cards? You need to write down, and I have my clients do this for me, all of your credit cards. What do you owe? What's your limit, and what's your interest rate? And what you're going to find is all those store cards you have are causing you a problem, because they're up to what, like 32 to 35% right now.
They're awful.
Insane right now. So just having that knowledge of where you are today, and then we can dive into what we're going to do about this. Are you going to get that refi? Are you going to go get another car that has a better interest rate? Are we going to have to pay down some credit card debt? You need to know exactly where you're at.
So get it wrote down. And the best place, you guys, I know we talk about QuickBooks and all that, but if you will just create a Google spreadsheet in Google Drive, this is how I do my budget. I have it all in Google Drive, and I have the balances, I have the interest rate, and I have the link that goes to the site. So I put everything on auto pay. And then and this is something I need to not do. And I know Amber told me you need to stop doing auto pay, because then you just out of sight, out of mind. And you're so right. But if I don't, I won't pay it. I'll miss it. I'll forget all about it. So
Right.
but being purposeful and knowing myself, I'm able to go into that spreadsheet and overpay or pay a second payment to try to get those balances down. So, but just a Google Doc is all that you need. Open up your Google Drive. We all have one. Create a new spreadsheet and just start writing them down. Write it down. And then I have a debt one as well that has doctor bills and stuff, a spreadsheet, so that everything I have, I know, and I know what the balance is, and I can go get it. So now I just need to get that all in QuickBooks. So
awareness is like 90% of the journey. I swear. It's
yeah. Well, and I've been reading a lot of books. I'm reading this one book right now, and I literally was reading it this morning because it's got so many good pieces to it. And when I say read, what I really mean is it's on Audible. So I love to read, but I have ADHD, and with my reading, I will read a whole page and then be like, oh my gosh, I was totally in my mind somewhere not reading. But with my Remarkable and Audible, I will journal as I listen to a book and take notes, and I'm able to retain the information. That's what I've learned to hack this issue. So anybody who wants to talk to me more about that, let me know, because I know it's a huge problem for a lot of real estate agents. So, but what I was saying is it's just easiest to do that and be aware. Oh, the book I was talking about, it's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And it talks a lot about all these different habits that we have created and the difference. And we just have to address this stuff. We cannot be, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to offend anyone. And I'm really talking about myself more than I am anybody else. But we cannot be in avoidance. Like, you can't avoid this stuff, because it will sneak up on you and it will bite you in the butt later on. So it's best to just sit down and do the work, get control of your finances so that you can make them work for you, not against you. So welcome to my journey. And Amber's going to help through this whole process. So next month, we're going to be talking about budgeting and what that can look like. So we're going to put together some stuff for you then. If you need to reach out to Amber before then, if credit is your issue and you want to work on that, or you just want to talk to her about anything, I have created a relationship with this girl, and when I need anything financial, she's the first person I go to. So here's her information. Take a screenshot. You have your phone right now, take a screenshot. But all of this information will be available for you on my YouTube channel. And I will share that in all my social media sites as well. So you can restart this, pause it, do what you need to do. But I hope that you will go on this journey with me this year, because I have some great people coming in to help us get control of our money. So Amber, close us out.
Well, thank you for having me on today, and thank you for trusting me with your people. That is huge. That really, I feel blessed that you trust me with your people. I do want to say, as we're working through this, and I know we talked about this last night, guys, if you have anything that you want to know more about, if there's something that you're struggling with, someone else is struggling with it as well. So if there's a topic that you would like to know more about, or an issue that you're having that we could bring into one of the podcasts, put it in the comments, type it up somewhere, let Dawn or I know. And we'll be more than happy to address that in one of our upcoming podcasts. And we're doing this for you guys. We want to help you in the areas where you need help. So if
Yeah.
you're struggling with something, please let us know. Or if there's something that you're just like, I just want to know more. I don't understand this. And if I don't know about it and Dawn doesn't know about it, I guarantee you we can find an expert on it. We can get someone on here that's going to know more about it. But I guess homework, make sure you know your goals, write them down, make them pretty on a vision board, or you can always, do like me and write it in a 5-star notebook. But know your goals and then figure out where you are now. Where do you stand? Where do you stand financially? Where do you stand for future planning? Where do you stand for retirement? And really know your numbers. That way, when we come back and we start budgeting, you know what your goals are, where you want to be, and you know where you are right now.
I love it. This just makes me so happy. Honestly, I have been wanting to do something like this for years, just really helping other people. And when I wrote the book last year, the chapter in the book, Step Into Your Brave, I really had to dig in and figure out what's my story? Like, what is it I want to do? What lights me up? And you know what? Where I get lit up the most is helping other people through the struggles that I've gone through in my over my lifetime. And it takes a lot of work. I've been married 21 years to my husband, and that doesn't just happen. We go through struggle after struggle. I want to help people figure that out. Like, go on the journey to fix the things. Don't just give up. And the same with our money. Like, we've always had it, haven't done what we could have done with it. Had we done the right thing with it, I'd be able to retire right now. But no, I haven't. And I'll be the first to admit it. And so that's where I want to change the rest of my life, because now I'm 53. And so my whole story is I want to help people. Amber has the same story. And so join us back here. Just go to the YouTube channel. As I build this all year, all the recordings are going to be in there so that you don't miss them. It's downloading the loading group on YouTube. I don't really even know what the exact one is, but it will be there, and I will be sharing that on all of my social media. So thank you, everybody who is seeing this, whether you're watching the replay or you're here today. Amber, thank you so much for being my friend and being willing to really put ourselves out there to help other people. So let's do this.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you. Everybody have a great day. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.
That's right.